My name is Dan Nilsen. I'm the CEO and owner of Bishop McCann. We are a brand experiences agency. Pretty much we are producers of meetings, incentive trips, and live events worldwide. Started in 1997. I have about 75 associates and about 100 contractors in the business. We do events all over the world. I wish we did more here in Kansas City, but our clients ask us to basically run everything from soup to nuts for all their meetings everywhere. Whether it's a national sales meeting, or whether it's a product launch they're doing, or whether it's a concert or an intimate gathering. We have staff that have experience that has done it all. I used to work for a big pharmaceutical company in Kansas City, and part of my department's responsibility was to manage all their meetings and incentive trips. And so I got laid off from Marion in the fourth of 4 rounds of layoffs, and I decided that it was time that I started a business. I didn't want to go work for another big company, and so I never thought that I would actually be starting my own business. And at that point I did, and we were lucky enough to get Marion as our very first client and started doing their investigator meetings. Investigator meetings are physician-attended meetings where they're testing new drugs and things like that. And so that's where we got our start. We're doing those for 4 or 5 years, and then started to get into other businesses and other industries as well. So I'm very lucky to be here today. I'd say the biggest challenge that I had was about 5 years into the business, we went through a business divorce. I started the company with a business partner, and we got to the point where it was time for us to go our separate ways. So I actually bought him out, and then I realized all the things I didn't know. I was the sales and marketing guy, and he was the operations and finance guy. So I had to quickly learn those things that I didn't know. So first I surrounded myself with people who were much better at things than I am, and that became kind of my mantra, And then I started to figure out how to learn. So I went through the Kaufman Fast Track 2 program. I also was a mentee in the Helzberg Entrepreneurial Mentoring Program. And I have to say that between the two of those, it changed the way we do business and did business back then. And I couldn't be happier. I had 3 mentors throughout my experience with the hemp program, and it led me to assemble my own advisory board of trusted friends and people that I've been in contact with for years that help me manage the business. I think if anybody can learn one thing from my experience, it's that you can't do this alone. You have to have help. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to start a business with a business partner. I'm saying that if you decide that you want to do it yourself, you have to have help. And that doesn't necessarily mean help you pay for. My advisory board is built of friends, people that I went to school with. My best friend from college happens to run a major car company, and I asked him if he would help, and he said absolutely. And it's amazing the people that will actually fly to Kansas City to help you run your business for no cost at all. And very, very lucky. The biggest advice that I have for anyone starting their own business is that you can't do this alone. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is I'll get a phone call and say, Dan, can you have lunch? And they'll say, I don't understand what's happening, why my business is not successful. And I say to them, why did it take you this long to ask me? There's so many things that we can avoid as business owners early on. And don't ask help from the people that you borrow money from. That's the difficult thing. Sometimes when you borrow money from family, they're involved emotionally, and you need to completely separate yourself from that and ask help from people who you're close to but that you didn't borrow money from. And it's really amazing the experience that you can get from that. And then my other biggest piece of advice is, if you ask people for advice, take their advice and make those changes that they suggest. You're the one that owns the company, so it's not anything that you have to do. But if you've asked a very talented group of people to help you steer the business in the right way, you need to start making those changes. And that's another big mistake that I see, is that businesses don't act on the advice they're given.